It's our 20th episode. I don't follow rules, so.
Yeah, we're rule breakers. In building in my mouth. So
was it everything that you thought it was going to be?
It's everything I thought it was going to be.
Conspiracy theories.
Okay.
And he's a fucking liar. Birds aren't real. Reba McEntire. Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to This Is For Our Friends. It's our 20th episode. Congrats.
Congratulations to you.
We got here. Congrats for the
Doing
fans.
all the work.
I didn't do all the work because if I did all the work, then I wouldn't have a podcast because you wouldn't be here and it would be boring as fuck. Just me talking.
Yeah. Oh, without me, it'd be boring. Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, whatever. First of all, I just want to point out we're wearing our quote unquote merch.
Yep.
It's not really merch. You can't buy it.
It's not available.
Yeah, you can't buy it anywhere, but Josie got us these for our birthdays, and it says this is for our friends on it, and they're really cute, and she got us them in our respective colors.
Yeah, thank you. I love it.
Thank you, Josie.
We could make like 20 of them
and just give them
sell them. No, sell them to our friends, make like a little profit on them.
Oh my god. Can you imagine what the fuck they do? No.
That'd be funny.
We sell them for like a limited time.
Yeah.
And then we can charge them a lot of fucking money.
Yeah,
because they're limited edition.
Yep.
You can't get them after this. We won't make them again.
Let's do it.
Josie did say she didn't want us to wear these on the podcast until she was on again, but I don't follow rules, so.
Yeah, we're rule breakers.
Yeah, and I just wanted everyone
Well,
to
she
see
came in wearing it, and I was like, oh, I thought Josie said not to wear it till she's on. She's like, yeah, but I just wanted to wear it today. And I was like, all right. I turned around, went in my room, threw mine on.
Yeah. I was like, sorry, can't. Okay, so we had Brandon on last week, so I have some facts for his episode. But I did want to do...
So he's actually not an MLB player. He's actually... No.
That's his fact check.
We did some more research.
Right. He's actually not an MLB player. He plays in the NBA, I guess.
Yeah,
He's a point guard. Okay, so our first fact is the official language of Argentina is Spanish.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep. The average age of a baseball player in the MLB is 27.2. So Brandon's right there. The oldest player in the MLB currently is Rich Hill. He plays for the Red Sox, and he's a pitcher, and he's 42 years old. Okay. So he was talking about years of service in the MLB and how many days, and I think he got it right on the money. 1 year is considered 172 days. So just a little fact. And then I wanted to look up why baseball players chew to see if there was any reason behind it. And it basically says baseball players have been chewing, this is gum, during games since the early 1900s. Chewing gum helps keep players' mouths clean and generate saliva to help them spit out dust and dirt from the field.
Did I ever tell my chew story on here?
No.
So it was high school. We had like a far drive somewhere, like I think like Port Huron North or something. So it's like an hour drive on the bus, soccer game. And one of the kids on the team, Malik, he had like chewing tobacco, you know, like the grizzly shit.
Yeah.
I think. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. So I'm chewing on the back of the bus, and the coach is, you know, my uncle. I talked about that before.
Yeah,
Are you sure I didn't tell the story on the podcast?
I don't remember the story.
But anyways, and then he comes like directly to the back of the bus talking to me while I got fucking a shit ton of tobacco in my mouth. My uncle, who's the coach. Okay. He's like coming to talk to me, like honestly about like something family related, like not even about the game or nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, as the saliva is like building and building and building in my mouth. So like now my mouth is completely full of liquid, and I'm just looking at him like, like that. Of course, my dad calls. Just talked to my mom 30 seconds ago. And I'm like,
you want to answer it?
No. Okay. And I literally just talked to my mom, and she's like, oh, I see Dad in the driveway. They both got home at the same time.
That's so funny.
The fuck you calling me for? Just because my mom's like, oh, I just talked to Samir. He's like, all right.
He's like, let me talk now.
Yeah, so I got my mouth full or whatever, and the second he turns around, while he was talking to me, I had to swallow a little bit, and you're not supposed to swallow. You know? But I had no choice, or I'm not breathing. Yeah. You know, or it's like bursting out of my mouth. Yeah. And then, so I swallowed just a tiny bit. He turns around. I throw the window down in the bus, and I just start throwing all Subway. Banana peppers.
Oh, like, you threw up?
Yeah, because I had no choice. It was just so nasty. And since that day, I never did chew again.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. That's traumatic.
Now, like, for the longest time, if I just smelled it, like, I would, like...
Yeah, I think that's the grossest thing you can do. I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody, but they know it's gross. Right? If you do chew, you know it's...
Yeah, it's like cigarettes. If you smoke cigarettes, you know it's gross.
Well, I think cigarettes, though, like, even the act of cigarettes is not as gross as chewing. Like,
but I know a lot of people
you have to spit in a bottle.
That's kind of nice. It's just a black bottle. Yeah.
Yeah, like the tar. act. Yeah, the act of like, if you smoke a cigarette, you could look cool doing it. Yeah, you can look fancy, you know. Mm-hmm. I always wanted to smoke cigarettes just because it looks cool to me. Yeah. Like I think it looks so.
I
cool.
could picture you smoking cigarettes.
Really? Mm-hmm. Maybe in my past life.
Yeah.
But when you chew, there's no act of that's like appealing to me at all. It's just. Ew, and
I know people that go between the two. Like they'll be like, I quit smoking cigarettes, but I've been chewing. Mm-hmm. And then they'll do that for like 6 months and then go back to cigarettes. So because it's obviously the nicotine in it. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on from chewing. So a little bit of a weekly recap. I wanted to let you know, give you a little update on something I've been doing since the last episode. I've been meditating. I've been doing, so I started with like 5 minutes a day. Literally, I've been doing it since Monday, so that's 2 days. Mm-hmm. But yesterday I did it for the second time, and I fucking felt so good after doing it. Yeah. I felt so good. I don't know. I was like, I stood up and I'm like, holy shit, that was amazing. Like you just, when you get to like a point in it, and I set a timer for 5 minutes, but I went a little longer. When you get to a point, you're like, I don't even want to do anything else right now. I just want to sit in this silence, and like you just don't think of shit. It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. I recommend. Yeah, I recommend it. I'm gonna try to do it at least 5 days a week and see how far I can get with it.
I guess you could just start your morning off with it too, like before you even get out of bed.
I've been ending my days with it, so right before I go to bed, because I've been having a really hard time sleeping lately. So I'm like, maybe this will help me. Okay, so another recap. We were talking about soccer, and I know how much you love Messi, and Argentina fucking won.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, because that was after. Oh yeah, Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my gosh.
God, roller coaster of emotions. I knew 2-0 wasn't enough.
No.
You obviously watched the whole thing. I knew it.
Yeah, me too. Like, I was not feeling. Good. Beata was like, I want France to score. And I'm like, no, because if France scores one, they're scoring again. Yeah, 110%. I'm like, that's the worst lead in the world. Like, you don't want that. But I was happy because it made it such a great fucking historical game for like every.
I'd rather it be like that.
Yeah, of course.
Than just, okay, the game finished 2-0, everyone's happy. But that, you got all the drama with it. Like, it was intense. I'm sure you saw like a bunch of memes or like videos on like TikTok and shit where people are like, why didn't you tell me soccer was like this?
Yeah.
Because I would have been watching. You know?
I think I sent either you guys a video or something, like a TikTok.
Maybe, but also if that's like the only game you've ever watched, it's really hard to top that game.
Yeah,
so the next game you watch is
don't
not
watch another game. Yeah.
But the craziest thing to me, the goalie save. Martinez's save.
That last save, like towards the end of the game. Yep. If that's the fucking key point of that entire game. Yeah. That's why they won that game.
That's why they won that game.
That's why they won that game. Yeah.
That's
fucking
supposed
crazy.
to be a goal.
It's supposed to be a
goal.
goal.
There's like a 1% chance of him saving that shot. Like,
yeah. Saved a penalty.
Saved a penalty too. Yeah, like, 2. Saved one and
saved
then
the other guy. Yeah. But he was getting in his head.
When he came up, I was at my uncle's with my other uncles and my dad and my cousin, and when he went up and they show the face, I literally look. I'm doing the LeBron cap and shit.
Yeah.
But I'm literally looking at him. I'm like, this guy is I'm like, this guy's missing. I was like, look how nervous he looks. Like, you could see in his face, like, he looked so fucking not ready for it.
Yeah.
And then he missed the fucking net.
Yeah. My dad said the same.
It's a 50-50 chance.
I know, but my dad said the same exact thing. He was like, look at this guy. He's not going to make it.
Your dad be lying all the time.
No, but I was so fucking happy. Not that I care, No, I cared. I did not want France to win. Like, why not Messi win it? Like,
listen, I like France, but I'm not like a huge soccer fan.
Yeah.
I don't really keep up with like the leagues or whatever, and but Messi's I've been a fan of Messi since the day he came.
Yeah.
To be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, and then I just always, how it is when you pick a player and you kind of stick with them,
yeah.
And he's one of those guys. He was a prodigy when he was younger, and then he lived up to it and surpassed all expectations. And he is the unquestionable best player in the world.
Yeah, he's the GOAT.
The only thing people had against him was he didn't win for his country. But he won Copa America, and that was enough.
Yeah.
But this is
incredible.
The World Cup is something completely different.
It's incredible. It was my entire TikTok feed was just videos.
That's funny as shit.
Of
just
Messi.
Like my sister.
I was engrossed in it. Like, I could not get away from it, and I was okay with it. There was a TikTok that was showing showing stuff about him and his wife, and you know the story of them, how they've known each other since they were like 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Like they got to like do that together. I saw another tweet and it was a TikTok, and it was a video of him taking a picture of his wife and like the trophy, and they were like, if Messi, who played 90 minutes and then extra time and then PKs and went through the roller coaster of that game and also can take a picture of his wife after, so can you guys when we ask you to take a picture of us. I was like, dude, hey, fucking men, seriously.
Did you see the one, there's a picture of or there was a meme, it was like Ronaldo's wife is Argentinian.
Oh, is she?
Or is she? He's not married. It's his girlfriend, but like baby mama too. They have a couple kids together. I think 3. No,
4. I think.
Is it that many?
I think.
He had a rough story too. I think she had twins and like one of them died or something like that. It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I remember that.
But she's Argentinian, so she can't even really.
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those awkward situations.
Can I be excited or
can
not?
You be excited?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think Ronaldo's a hater like that. I feel like he would be.
Yeah, people were saying, like, what do you think he's doing right now? Like, is he gonna go through, like, is he, like, happy?
I feel bad for Ronaldo. I never liked him. I feel bad for him.
I feel bad for him, too.
Just because you get old and then, like, now they... Like,
and because the way he went out in this World Cup, too, like, he got benched. He didn't start, like...
Fuck that coach.
I mean, yeah, but
and
also...
I'm not a Ronaldo fan, but, like, come on, dude. Like,
I guess, yeah. But, no, it's crazy. I just love sports, and like that was a key example of why sports are so fucking important. How it brought everybody together. Everybody was watching that game.
Yeah.
And like how many fans were in Argentina, and did you see like the parade? Like 4 million.
Oh my God.
People. They had to
madness.
like airlift Messi out because he couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Like incredible. But it just means so much to like people, and it's amazing, and I can't wait for the next fucking...
I cannot wait, and it's in America.
Yeah. It's in America and Canada and Mexico.
And Mexico, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
I know. We want to go.
You know, tickets aren't bad at all. Like,
really?
At all.
Did you look into them?
Yeah, we looked at me, Dom, and Rob, Dre, I think we looked into them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, there's some in Philly. There's some in Ohio.
I'm talking about like
LA.
$60 tickets.
Oh, really?
But that was for Qatar, so... But at the same time, I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Like, because you got people coming from all around the world to watch these games.
Yeah.
Like, you go to Qatar. How the hell are there fucking 50,000 Argentinians just in Qatar?
Yeah,
like,
that's
you know,
so
like they're
true.
traveling all the way out there. Like,
so true.
I just find it like crazy. Like,
how much
there's
money?
that many Brazil fans there. There's that many Argentinian fans. There's that many Polish fans. There's that many fucking Portuguese, whatever. You know, like whatever, all from around the world. Like, they gotta be cheap.
Yeah.
Because who the hell from the favelas of Brazil are going to be able to afford to go to these games?
That's
like,
so true.
Even the World Cup game, the final, the cheapest ticket available, I had all the information. It's like $200.
Yeah.
The cheapest possible ticket.
But I mean,
the championship game,
you can go, you can be in the nose, like just bring some tissues, get your nose all packed up. Yeah. At that point, no. I really hope that we can. Well, I know my dad wants to go, so hopefully maybe we can get it like tickets.
We looked. There's like a whole thing down the East Coast. It's like Boston, Philly, New York, like where we could hit 3 games. Type shit. Like we can hit 3 cities.
Oh,
you know?
that would be sick.
That would be pretty tight.
Quit my job. Just go to all the
or
games.
Take a week home. Because you know those group stage games.
Yeah, they go fast.
They're like 2 a day.
Yeah.
3 a day. Or no, in the beginning it was 4 a day. 4 games a day.
Yeah.
So.
I'll be interested to see like who goes where. For, you know?
What groups go, like, is it?
Okay, so, like, I know that for me, I'm, like, a little confused as to why they're doing so many different fucking places, because time zones, like, you're gonna fuck up right?
It's only a 3 hour,
I know,
is that a 4? Is that a 4 hour?
3 hours.
3 hours from New York to LA?
Yeah, but, like, you know, why fuck with that? Why not just have it all, and then you're gonna have to travel from Mexico to here to, you know, like, it just seems like a lot.
Who knows?
I don't know, but... Anyway, we can move on from the World Cup, but I can't wait for the next one in 4 years.
Yeah.
And I love soccer. That's all I have to say. Okay, but I did want to touch base on something because we haven't talked about it. You went to Boston.
Oh yeah, I forgot to bring it up.
We missed it on Liz's episode, and then last week we had Brandon. I totally forgot about it. So I think you had a story you wanted to tell.
Well, first of all, Boston, it's my favorite city.
Was it everything that you thought it was going to be?
It's everything I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it looked very movie-like from your pictures.
It was it's definitely my favorite city. This is what I told everybody that asked. Like, It's a perfect amount of city.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not it was busy.
Yeah.
In the perfect amount of, like, you're not crowded. Every restaurant you go to, it's like full, but
you're not waiting hours.
Yeah, you're not waiting hours. It's like, dude, it was amazing and beautiful. Great. And old buildings and the red brick roads everywhere, you know. And yeah, it was awesome. No, we the one story, we went to brunch at this one. And like the Airbnb we got, it was like one of our Uber drivers was like, this street is like the best street for like restaurants, bars, like everything.
Great.
And we didn't know.
We
were like, oh, this is perfect Airbnb, whatever. So like we went to eat on like 5 restaurants just within like 10-15 minute walk of us.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
You know, we
obviously
nice trekked out, but it was like, we just got lucky those are where the best restaurants are. There's so many though. It's like hundreds.
Obviously, yeah.
We went to this one brunch spot and we're sitting there and there's this couple next to us, like old couple. Damn, now I forgot their name. What is it? Nicolette. What's the couple's names for Boston? It's like Peter. Peter, I think, is one.
Peter.
What's the couple's names? Peter and
I don't know the girl's name, but she texted you.
Maureen.
Peter and Maureen.
It was her birthday, so a few of the waitresses or whatever, they come like sing her happy birthday or whatever, and like me and Nicolette are like singing along a little bit, and we clapped or whatever, and they're just sitting right next to us. They're like this close to us.
Okay.
This is how close me and the guy
was
are.
it like a community or was it like a...
No, they're separate seats, but you're just tight.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah.
And like you can see like they just like keep looking over at us or whatever, and like we're just enjoying our time, you know, eating brunch and shit. The girl like taps Nicolette like, oh, I'm like so sorry to bother you, like, but are you two like newlyweds or whatever? And then she's like, yeah. And she's like, I can see like how much love you two have. Like, you guys look so happy, blah, blah, blah. And then we ended up talking with them for like an hour.
Wow.
You know, like you just meet one of those, you know, and they're giving us relationship advice.
That's sweet.
There was something I wanted to say, one piece of advice they gave us. One funny thing they said was, she was like, if you're both arguing or something, one of you got to pull back. Because if you guys both just continue arguing, it's going to escalate to a level that you don't want it to. But like if we're mad at each other, I let you have this one, you let your anger out, me kind of take the back seat.
Pick your battles type thing.
Kind of pick your battles type thing, you know. But they said it better. You know, they're old, like a super old retired couple. You know, so they had
a lot of
married
wisdom.
For like 40 years, 50 years, something like that.
Wow, dude. You don't see that a lot.
He was like 23 and she was like 19 and son's 9 or something like that.
Wow.
You know? Or maybe even younger, you know. But anyways.
But one of those conversations that just like you were like elated from it after and like felt like good and lighter. Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad it was everything you wanted it to be. It looked like fun.
Went to the Irish pub to to watch a game.
I was gonna say, there was a game on, and you weren't.
And it was a messy game. It was an Argentina game,
but there was a game on that you weren't watching at a fucking pub. You guys were eating brunch and you were watching on your phone. And I was like, why the fuck isn't he in a pub? I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
It was a pretty important game, but you were watching the Argentina one at a pub, I think.
Yeah, but yeah. One of the Argentina ones was at a pub, but same thing. I didn't want to take like. Because I'd watch it on my phone, and then if we went somewhere, you know, I don't know. I just there were so many games going on. What am I just gonna
go to a pub every day?
Not enjoy Boston. Go to a pub every day.
Just sitting there. You become a regular. They're like, hey, Samir.
Yeah, but we picked the perfect bar too. It was literally like the movies.
That's
the fucking
great.
Bartender was like not giving a fuck about you.
Yeah.
You know, and I told Nicolette, I'm like, man, that guy don't give a fuck. And she's like, oh, for real? I was like, yeah, but I love it.
Yeah. You're like, this is what I
Didn't
came
give
for.
a shit, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so it's our 20th episode, and it's just us two, so I thought it would be fun to do some conspiracy theories.
Okay.
When I first met Samir, he didn't like talk.
I don't think I did in the beginning.
He didn't talk about conspiracy theories that much. Later on in our friendship, he became he's like the group conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
Not that he like believes in this stuff through and through, but
it's just interesting.
It's interesting to you, and you just know a lot about them. You just like you like to YouTube them. You like to get down that rabbit hole and enjoy and take it in and enjoy it. I have not cared about conspiracy theories ever until I started listening to that podcast, Armchair and Dangerous. This guy comes on, talks about conspiracy theories.
Okay.
And he will either debunk them or he'll like say like, yeah, this was true. Like
he'll just give you information.
Yeah, like MK Ultra.
Okay,
like,
I know about
stuff
MK
like
Ultra.
that.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So like there's so stuff like that, you know.
But see, that's the thing. There's a lot of conspiracies that aren't.
Yes.
It just the word conspiracy gives it a bad name.
Yeah.
Where you instantly think like, he's a conspiracy theorist.
But so what I did is I took 2 conspiracy theories or conspiracies, and one of them is objectively not true, and one of them is objectively true.
Okay.
And then we can talk about other ones. These ones, you probably are like, you're gonna be like, why did you pick these 2? But I just think,
who cares?
I just think they're fun. The first one is birds aren't real. Do you know this?
Oh my, yeah, that one's kind of silly.
You know this one?
I know that one.
Okay, so
the power lines and shit. I love that.
Yeah, so what is it? For those who don't know what birds aren't real, birds don't exist and are really drones that were replicated by the US government.
Like cameras. They're
really just drones, cameras,
people.
watching people, spying on all of us Americans, and every single bird is a robot. And the United States government basically massacred like 12 billion birds, and now they're all robots and they're spying us for over 40 years.
And when you see, really?
Yeah.
And when you see them on the power lines, they're charging.
They're charging when they're on the power lines. Yeah. So like all of this crazy shit. Okay. So when you first hear it, you're like, what the fuck? But there's people who believe this stuff.
Yeah.
Which is scary. You know? Yeah. So the founder of this movement is Peter McIndoe, and the origin of it is in January of 2017. He traveled to Memphis to visit some friends. It's when Donald Trump was being sworn in as president, and there was a women's march downtown. So then a lot of pro-Trump counter protesters were at that protest, like counter protesting them, like, I don't know what you can fucking counter protest at a women's march, but they were doing it.
Okay.
And so when he saw them, he was in his friend's apartment, pulled a poster off the wall, and on the back of it just wrote "Birds aren't real." So he doesn't believe this.
It was
it's like a
spoof,
like satirical about it.
Yeah.
Like it's satire to him. Yeah. So
he's like making fun of conspiracies.
He's making fun of conspiracies because like there's so much myths and disinformation in America, and like people will nowadays believe whatever because the internet says it, or like whatever, they go down rabbit holes and people make shit up, you know. But so he was like, fuck this, I'm gonna go counter protest those people that are counter protesting the march. So he took that sign down and like hung like was birds aren't real, all these chants he made up on the top of his head, and people started that were at that protest started like coming to me like, what are you talking about? Like, what is this? Like asking him fucking questions. So what he does now is he goes to like counter protest and will do the whole birds aren't real thing. I saw he got a van.
It says like birds aren't
real. Yeah, he puts billboards up everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like this thing, but it's really to like show how easily people can be convinced
right.
of these things. And this is a quote from what he said. He said, dealing in the world of misinformation for the past few years, we've been really conscious of the line we walk. The idea is meant to be so preposterous, but we make sure nothing we're saying is too realistic. So what he did is he hired an actor to play a CIA agent and interviewed him, and they like made a whole thing on YouTube, and the guy was like coming out saying like, I was a part of the massacre of all those birds and like whatever, and like people believe this shit even though it's just like fake and made up. And like to me, I'm like what is the line? You know, like you're just making this shit up and like people are believing you, but also like why the fuck are people believing this shit?
Yeah, right. I wonder how many people actually believe it.
Yeah, me too.
And that because like it could still be blown up where me and you hear about it.
Yeah.
And we're like, who the fuck believes this shit?
Right.
But obviously people do, because why are we hearing about it? Or is it getting blown up because people like me and you are saying, like, can you believe you heard this?
Yes.
And then we bring it up to 100 people.
Well, the thing is like, even though I don't believe it, I still think it's real. Like, it's a real conspiracy. Like, I still thought, before I looked into it.
Gotcha.
Like, I still thought that it's a conspiracy.
It's an actual conspiracy.
People actually believe in.
Gotcha.
People actually pulled facts. People, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, even it being able to go that far is crazy.
Yeah,
and
right.
I listened to a podcast about it, and, like, the intro of it was like telling facts about it, and I'm like listening to the whole time. I like cannot believe people like believe this. I cannot believe people believe this. And then by the end, he tells us like it's not a real conspiracy. It's just made up and whatever, how I just said. And like, I was mind blown, you know? So like,
by people's
like the
reactions
fact,
to it.
yeah. And like, it can go as far enough for people who don't believe it, but will still believe that other people believe it, you know? So it's just so
and a lot of things with conspiracies too, I feel like some people want like to be part of the newest conspiracy. So the first, you know, if they hear something like birds aren't real, they do a little bit of, they go on like that bullshit, whatever that guy's bullshit.
He has like a whole website. It's incredible.
You know, that's what I'm saying. They go to that and then they're like, then they go to like, did you hear this? Like, because they want to be the first ones up on it, just like kind of anything else. Like,
yeah, it's interesting. He did say that what he likes to do is counter-protest the counter-protesters so that he can take attention away from them. You know, because like if there's a women's march and these guys are protesting against a women's march, he wants to protest so that they get the attention away from them so that their protest doesn't matter as much, you know? Which I'm like, hey, that's pretty fucking smart.
That's funny.
Yeah, he like dropped out of college and everything for this shit. Like
just because he put a poster up saying
said birds aren't real. Yeah. And he has like funny, I want to look up some of the birds aren't real slogans because they're fucking hilarious. So this is what the site says. This is Who Are We? The Birds Aren't Real movement has been active since 1976.
Which is not
true. Since 2017. Once a preventative cause, our initial goal was to stop genocide of real birds. Unfortunately, this was unsuccessful, and the government has since replaced every living bird with robotic replicas. Now our movement's prerogative is to make everyone aware of this fact. And he has like a banned television advertisement from the movement of 87, an ex-CIA agent confirming bird drone surveillance, television interview with movement representative. Like, so
looks legit, looks like a legit conspiracy.
So it has frequently asked questions. So one is like, what do you mean birds aren't real? But whatever, we'll move on for that. It says, what are eggs? The eggs we see in the 21st century are specifically designed by the government to appear indistinguishable from what eggs once were, when birds were real. When the government replaced the species with robotic replicas, it was key that the replicas sustained the same activities that their biological predecessors did, including producing edible eggs. So what is bird poop? Bird poop was originally thought to be oil discharge from early bird drone models. After further research, though, this was disproven. Bird poop irregularly falls on vehicles in large amounts. Recent studies show that 80% of bird poop in populated areas fall on people's cars. Why is this? Confidential documents leaked in 2018 revealing that bird poop is actually a form of liquidated tracking apparatus.
Oh my God.
If you walk outside and notice some bird poop just happened to fall in your car, be aware that you are now being tracked by the United States government, and it is recommended that you clean your car exterior regularly to avoid this.
Dude, that is hilarious.
Like, this guy is so creative.
Yeah.
You know, he thought of all the things. Like,
but it's funny how he says, like, it's disproven.
To make it seem
like...
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's so
the next
funny.
part is proven.
Yeah, somebody who like works with him. It's crazy because it's like a real fucking, not business, but like it's a movement now, you know? Wow. So people like work with him, and they said like it's crazy how when we're at the actual protest, how he just comes up with things off the cuff. Like, he is so creative and like has I wish I could find slogans. I can't find them, but they're fucking funny, and I encourage everyone to look into this. But it's just funny because he did what he wanted to do and like show how crazy these people are who are counter protesting and putting up signs with like weird ass conspiracy theories, you know, and just like they'll believe anything you show them. Yeah. Like, you just give them one thing and they're gonna believe it, you know. But yeah, so that was my one conspiracy theory. So you've heard of that before, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, so did you know that it wasn't real? Like, did you?
When I first heard it, I was like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Because my cats have killed birds and brought them home. Like.
Right. Yeah.
Plus, also how
he has a frequently asked questions. How do you explain bird meat?
Okay.
Do you want to answer to that?
Yeah, let's see an answer to that.
All meat, all of these are in quotes too. All meat found in birds today is 100% synthetic. If birds suddenly became inedible, the government's entire scheme would have been compromised. In order for their transition from real bird to drone replica to make sense, they had to imitate all the parts of real birds in their robot copies. It's so silly.
Wow.
So silly.
But no, instantly I didn't like believe it.
Yeah.
But then I want to say like a couple years ago, Buona sent me something. She's like, did you know like this guy made this like to be like he made it up to be funny? And I was like, that I didn't know.
Yeah.
So that I didn't know off the rip. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny. It's so funny. But okay, so that was the one that's objectively not true. Like we know birds are real.
Yeah.
We know it because it's a legit made up conspiracy to make fun of people and for satire. My next one is objectively true.
Okay, real quick. So since we're on the topic of birds.
Yeah.
So like, you know, there's a conspiracy out there that like dinosaurs aren't real.
Did
you hear that one before?
I have not heard that.
You never come across that one at all?
No.
Yeah, so same thing. I don't know. The fuck do I know?
Yeah.
But now apparently they've never found like there's no like dinosaur skull anywhere, like a real one. What they'll find is like a T-Rex like arm or like a whatever, like random bones, and then they'll be like, oh, this belongs to a T-Rex, but they've never found an actual skull or like the full. It's not like they'll just find the whole body.
Right.
Like of the dinosaur, they'll find like one here, one there, you know, like.
But what are the skulls like in the museums?
Any bone you see in a museum, those are not real, and they'll admit it.
They're like replicas.
They're replicas because the originals, quote unquote, are like too like sensitive or too fragile to actually be put out in a museum. Because like, what if a kid just fucking runs into a fully grown T-Rex?
Yeah,
like,
and it falls.
break.
Yeah.
So same thing. I don't know what to believe. I don't know. It's just interesting to me, like, you know. And then now, is that even true?
Yeah.
That they've never found a fully formed T-Rex bones head to tail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like, but then on top of that, when they just say like, oh, this is what a T-Rex would have sounded like, or this is what, like, how the fuck do you don't know that. And then apparently, like now they have fur.
I saw that they now have like hair or whatever.
Yeah. So and it's like, what, you didn't know that?
Yeah. Like how did
you
we
didn't
now
know that?
discover
But
that?
before, like,
yeah.
And so is it a reptile? Like, because reptiles don't have fur.
Yeah, I know it's
reptilians, or I don't know what they classify as. I guess they're in their own dinosaur category.
Right, yeah.
But you know what I mean? And then, like, so I don't know.
I think like some of them had it.
To me, it's just a lot of bullshit.
It's just a lot of like. How
to
do
me,
you
it's
know?
a lot of bullshit that they don't know, and it's just what it is. It's their educated guess.
Yeah, it's hard to like just accept that, but also what I say. Okay, so there's two things. We actually, as like a human race, have not been here that long. Like in the scheme of like the grand scheme of like the world, you know, and how long Earth has been here and whatever.
But you even look into that, which is crazy. I'm sorry, I know.
It's okay.
But like, there's a new documentary on Netflix. I forgot his name. I'm horrible with names, and like, I don't even remember the damn title. I just recommended it to Dom.
Do you want to look at it really quickly?
It's called like Ancient History or something. Ancient Apocalypse.
Okay.
It's called on Netflix.
Okay.
So apparently humans have only been around for 10,000 years.
Yeah.
But he's saying there's like hard evidence that it's like 50,000 years or 60, which is still not a lot in the grand scheme of things. Like how you said, if the universe is 7 billion years old, it's still a tiny speck. But if you come out and find studies that prove that, the community will dismiss that because it doesn't go along with, you'll be shunned from the community. You'll be shunned from the scientific community if you make a breakthrough that doesn't follow along with
the norm.
Yeah. Because they've worked so hard to create this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I say yes and no though, because I feel like with like science, like even now they're like, oh, now they have hair. Like it's ever changing because we're learning things every single day. Like there's new things that we find every single day. So like there's so much to still find and like discover and stuff. But it is hard to like conceptualize also, like how the fuck do you know? Like how do you know that they were here and they had this body compared to this body and they ate this versus this, and like how the fuck do we know? I actually, when I was younger, one time said that to Robert. I was like, you know, dinosaurs might not look how we think they are. Like, what the fuck do we know, you know? But what I will say is,
the fuck?
You're gonna be like, what the fuck? I know. So I was listening to a podcast with Yuval Harari on it, and he was talking about how they're like 4 years ago they found like another like species on some not recent, but they found out that there was another species however many years ago when there were like Neanderthals and all of that stuff. There was a whole nother species of like humans. They're not humans, but like, if you want
similar,
like, yeah, that were like super short and super small and on
gnomes.
Yeah, basically super short, super small, like 3 foot tall, like basically like humans roaming around on like an island. Yeah. Like, it's just like, what? How did you find that out?
But how big the world is, there's still like indigenous tribes.
Yes, I know.
That's pretty fucking insane, dude.
Dude, I know. Kara
how?
Lindsay, one of them sent me a video, and they're like, I'm confused how this is like still a thing.
In the Amazon rainforest, it's so thick.
Yeah.
That like there's indigenous tribes in the Amazon rainforest. They've never come in contact with like modern civilization.
Did you see that video of that guy that was like this guy?
I saw that one. Yeah. Even if that's not real, even if it's not real, it's still true. It's still
yeah.
But I looked into that briefly, and apparently that is true. There's like a local there that like befriended them, and then they trusted that guy to bring this guy to like record and
there's whatever. This book called
who knows
there's this book called Sapiens by Yuval Harari, who I just said that his name, but I've tried reading it. It's like super dense, and it talks a lot about it basically talks about like how we came to be, like how we are Homo sapiens right now, and talks about like Neanderthals and like the other species that were living with us, and how we like basically took over the world and we're like prime species and they all died off and whatever. But like, you know how like some of us have like Neanderthal in them? Like, isn't that crazy? Yeah. Like there's like a percentage of the people's world that DNA still has like a little bit of Neanderthal in them because they like they had sex with them. Yeah. You know? But like, it's weird because that's a whole other species. Yeah. Neanderthals. It's not just like humans. They were not Homo sapiens.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They were not Homo sapiens. So it's like a, I think so. I'm positive that they're not Homo sapiens. Like that's 110%.
I heard.
And they're not humans, but I mean they're humans. I don't fucking know how to explain it.
You remember Ali G? Sacha Baron Cohen?
Oh.
You remember he did the Ali G when he was the gangster from like the UK?
I don't. And
he'd always be like.
Or whatever. Is that what I was doing?
I'm saying no. That's not why I fucked it up. Oh. But he would do like, dude, Ali G was his funniest, better than Borat.
Really?
Better than Ali G was the best.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Dude, when I was younger, when I had an iPad or not an iPad, the first iPods that came out with the little screen on them, all I would do was go to YouTube and watch his videos. Really? Just for hours.
That's so funny.
He was like interviewing like this, like a bunch of religious people, and this Christian guy said something interesting. He was like, he's a priest. And but Ali G's making fun of everybody. Like, it's completely idiotic, the shit that he's saying. Yeah. But the guys he's interviewing are dead serious. Like, they're like, what kind of fucking interview is this? Yeah. You know? So, for example, the guy would be like, oh, like, we're all Homo sapiens or whatever. And then Ali G would be like, whoa. Not me, man. Like, not me. I'm not homo. He's like, I don't care. You do what you want to do, but I'm not, you know. God, but so anyways, one of the priests was like, monkeys are still having sex with each other. How come they're not having humans today? He was like trying to disprove evolution because there was like a guy who believes in evolution, guy who's a priest, there's a imam, whatever. Which that kind of always stuck with me too. Like, monkeys existed, and then now there's us. But in the where are the people in the middle? Yeah. Is there just one Bigfoot? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there just one big, like, where are the people in the middle? Like, and then I thought, like, oh, is it just because monkeys are like for their environment, like swinging through trees and they can climb trees? And then I think I had the conversation with Dre. I think I brought that up to Dre before, and he's like, yeah, but those people died out because, like, the cavemen died out. It's not like evolution happens every 100 years. It's over the course of thousands of years. Yeah. So, like, if a caveman was able to live for thousands of years, what just all of a sudden the cavemen died and now there's only us? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are the monkeys at? Where's we should have each phase. Each phase should be available. Like,
it should still be here.
It should still be here. Like,
I don't know. I for me,
like, I don't believe in evolution.
You don't?
No, I fuck that. I don't know. We're coming from a fish. The fuck out of here.
Us from a fish? I don't think us from a fish.
I think it starts from like a fish. I think we all start from like a fish, and then a fish to a snail, and the snail comes on the land, and then
well, that's why I'm not a scientist.
Who knows? I don't
know. I don't like to straight out say like I don't believe in this, because like
who knows?
Who the fuck knows? But there's definitely, I think that the questions we have are questions that scientists have and are still trying to prove or like figure out. So like it makes sense why we have the questions, but I also think that there have been so many scientists that who have been working on this stuff all of their life. So like we can't just throw it out because we're like, oh, I have this question about it. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on from monkeys, Neanderthals, evolution, and all of that stuff. And we're going to talk about a conspiracy that turned out to be real. And the one that I chose is Watergate, the Watergate scandal.
Okay.
Do you know about Watergate?
Yeah, go ahead. Fill me in real quick.
Okay, so I didn't really know much about it. I knew it had to do with Richard Nixon and that he did something bad. And that's literally all I knew, which I know I learned this in like fucking 4th grade history class, but I didn't remember it. So sue me. A little backstory. The Watergate scandal was during an election year. It all took place during the election year. And then we were also in Vietnam. What ended up happening was on June 17th, 1972, 5 people broke into the Watergate building, and they were looking to steal documents and also wiretap all the phones to get like information. So this was during Richard Nixon, like he was running for re-election, and the team basically like was like, we need to get all the information we can, and we need to make sure that we're whatever. They just wanted all the information they could get so that they could win this election. A security guard noticed that all of the doors had tape on the locks, so like they wouldn't lock, yeah. So he called the police right away, and they ended up finding those 5 people who broke in, and they arrested all of them. So immediately there wasn't suspicions that it had to do with the president at all. But in August, Nixon gave a speech swearing that he didn't do it. It has nothing to do with me, yada, yada, yada. Voters believed him, ended up winning in November. He won in a landslide, and it's like the biggest landslide in U.S. history.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And he's a fucking liar. He's a fucking liar. I hate him. I don't hate him, but I don't like him.
Did Watergate help him
win? I don't know.
Like, because if you win by a landslide, what information did he gain from? Like, he didn't even get any information. Yeah. Because they got caught.
I don't know that much about it, but regardless, like, it's crazy that he did win. I think also, like, when you're in the middle of a war, like, it's hard to be like, to jump ship from your current president, you know, and be like, I'm going to trust this person to carry us through it. You know, like, I feel like as an American.
That's why I feel like that's also why George Bush won the second term.
Yeah.
Right?
When
was his first term? Yeah.
2004.
Because it was like, all right, he was already part of it.
Yeah. I mean,
shit.
that's just as like American voter. That's my thought process of it. Yeah. I don't know why he won. Maybe they didn't trust the other guy enough, but hey, you should have. Because this motherfucker was less trustworthy.
George Bush don't care about black people.
Dude, that's one of my favorite fucking videos. That and him getting a shoe thrown at him, George Bush.
Yeah, he dodged that shit, dude. George Bush was funny as shit.
I mean, now
you see the golf video of him?
He's funny as shit when you look back at it. But I'm sure current, like when he was the sitting president and you were an American citizen, like in the middle of a fucking recession as well, like you probably were like, fuck this guy. Like this isn't funny, you know?
Right.
No, but he's funny now.
Did you see the golf video of him?
No.
He was getting interviewed like in the middle of, he was golfing.
Okay.
And someone asked him like about like the war in Iraq or whatever. And he was like, yeah, we're going to kill all those terrorists. Now watch me hit this drive.
Yes. Like it's just, this guy was not media trained at all.
No.
Like no media training. Yeah.
But we made it.
Yeah.
To where we are now. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're all going to be okay.
Yeah,
hopefully,
for sure. Back to Nixon. So it's said that he put hundreds of thousands of dollars aside as hush money to the burglars after they got arrested and everything.
This was proven.
Yeah, all of this stuff is proven. Yeah. And then he also, his team, they instructed the CIA to impede on the FBI's investigation. So, like, clearly they don't want shit being found out. But Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, who worked at the Washington Post, those are the investigative journalists who basically are, like, the heroes of the story. They were, like, extremely suspicious, and they had an anonymous whistleblower called Deep Throat, which is kind of funny. And he provided them like key information. They had like a handful of aides that testified about the crimes, and apparently Nixon had secretly taped every single conversation that happened in the Oval Office. Isn't that crazy?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so number one, why?
Shady motherfucker.
Why, yeah. And number two, like, you're about to fucking eat your fucking words and actions soon, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So Archibald Cox was the prosecutor and was demanding the tapes, and Nixon demanded that he be fired in October of 1973. So, like, you were so shady.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't have anything to hide. So he eventually did give...
Sounds familiar.
It does. He eventually gave some of the tapes over to them, and there was a new prosecutor appointed to the case in early 1974. So it started in 1972, and now we're in 1974. In July, the Supreme Court ordered Nixon to hand over the tapes, like all of them, and the House Judiciary Committee voted to impeach Nixon for obstruction of justice, abuse of power, criminal cover-up, and several violations of the Constitution on August 5th. So he resigned on August 8th of 74 and left office the following day.
Wow.
As an American, I can't imagine having trusted somebody. Like, he came out and said, it wasn't me. And then 2 years later, he was like, peace the fuck out.
It's me. I'll resign.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
It's crazy because that was a conspiracy. So I'm sure those people, like those investigative journalists were like, I think that this is happening in the White House.
And
like,
then
a
lot of people did not like.
Yeah, a lot of people were probably like, no, dude, like, it's not happening. Or like, how crazy, like, that can't be real. But like, it turned out to be fucking true. And our president was doing shady shit. And so were the people working for him.
Yeah, I got a crazy one for you. You heard of Operation Northwoods?
No.
This is also like proven.
Okay.
Kennedy was president.
Mm-hmm.
This is when like Fidel Castro was like running Cuba and all that shit or whatever. And there was a bunch of people in the government that wanted to go to war with Cuba.
Okay.
So the head of the CIA at the time was Prescott Bush, which is George, the most recent president's grandfather.
Okay.
He was in charge of the CIA. They filled out a whole ass document called Operation Northwoods. And it was to kill U.S. citizens, hijack planes, crash them, plant bombs on American soil, blame it on Cuba, so we have a reason to go to war, because you need a reason to go to war. You can't just go to war. You got to need a reason. JFK apparently, well, he didn't agree to it.
Sign it.
And then later he's assassinated.
Oh, and that's the JFK conspiracy theory.
That's part of like the
Yeah,
JFK, like, but there's 100 things why they would have wanted to kill JFK, but to me, that's the main thing. And then fast forward, who's president? George Bush. What happens?
So
9/11.
Huh?
Who knows? Did they just want to like weapons of mass destruction? Everybody agrees there was no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. We just went to war with Iraq for.
Interesting.
Blame it on who knows, man.
Yeah,
who fucking knows, dude? And then do you know how many towers went down during 9/11? Do you know how many?
I don't. I mean, I think
how many towers went down?
Like,
do you know how many?
Like
do you know?
The two, and then I know that they like wanted to do the Pentagon too. But
okay, do you know the World Trade Centers and Tower 7, which was next to it, also burned to the ground?
Interesting.
Yeah, nobody knows that. Nobody knows that. It was never hit. It was never touched. It collapsed to the ground.
Was it right next to it? So we're
right.
Like
it was no. That won't happen. If your house is on fire, your neighbor's house ain't gonna catch on fire.
I mean, it could.
No.
I mean, you can't say it can't. Like, what if wind and then it catches on fire? It catches.
I
like
could
a
go
plant
into this
on
for
fire.
hours, but we don't have enough time for that. But
no, I think the thing about these type of conspiracy theories is like, they could be 100% true, and like those ones, like about the governments, like about how that's connected, it doesn't seem like that far fetched for me. But I also am just like,
but Operation Northwoods, that's a fact.
That's a fact.
You can look up the document right now, and you'll see the document. You can read it yourself, where it says like kill U.S. citizens.
Crazy and
like,
fucked up and
unbelievable
insanity. Yeah, it really is.
So that right there goes to show you, don't trust the government. Period. Point blank. From that alone, anything can be set up. We're lied to, and a lot of it could be bullshit. A lot of it could be real. A lot of it is bullshit. If your government is willing to kill its own people to provoke a war with another country, it
is fucked up. And I'm never gonna be the person that's like, I don't fucking trust my government and crazy blah 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 blah, because like they're there, and like I gotta vote for somebody, and I'm gonna vote for the people that I believe in.
You do the best you can.
We do the best we can. I mean, I'm not gonna dedicate my whole life to fucking exposing the government and living in that either. You know
for sure. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
people do though, like people live their whole fucking lives and like every conversation they have, it's about a conspiracy theory about the government and how they're controlling our lives, and this person is actually alive and this person's working with this person, and like oh, this is so fun, like that you're having fun, like yeah, this is fun, this banter here back and forth, but like every conversation, that'd be so exhausting.
It's too much.
And
sometimes.
Also, like, if they are, I'm gonna try to live my best life while I still can. And
but you need those people though too, or else you wouldn't find out about Watergate, or you wouldn't find out about
investigative journalists. Sure,
that's
people
what I'm
who
saying.
go to school for that shit. Sure, people who like are actually intellectually going through that process and not fucking just spewing shit out because they want to. Absolutely, absolutely. But there's fucking QAnon is a perfect example of like how far things can go.
I never got into that. I was always confused by Q.
Yeah.
I was always confused, but I never knew what the fuck was going on there. But
there's so much to it, and I don't like to really like indulge in that shit because it's just
it was just so confusing to me. I tried a little bit to like learn about it, but it was like a website where you go to and Q's like posting messages or some shit.
Yeah, he says like this thing is going to happen on this date. Like one of them was like Donald Trump will regain office on blah, 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 blah. Like they did that like 10 fucking times. Like Donald Trump was supposed to be the president again 10 times by now. Like, and people still will like are drawn to it and like will go and be like Q said this and Q said that. And, like all this.
It kind of died out now. I haven't heard anybody.
I think it's died out a little bit more for sure. But like I know people personally who follow that shit and believe in that shit. And I'm just like I'm sitting there while they're talking to me. And I'm like
you said, well, I'm pro Trump, so I had people they would tell me like Trump's gonna regain office, you know, and I'm like, what day? Yeah. Like, you know, they would give me the date or whatever. I'm like, okay, on this day, we'll talk.
Yeah. And
because I knew, I'm like, it's not going to happen. Like, so then I would go and I'd be like, what happened? They're like, oh, yeah, well, some shit fucked up and blah, blah, blah. So now it's going to be like this day, blah, blah. And then I'm not trying. It's one of my friends, but he's a coworker, but I like him a lot. You know, very good guy. He said something like, I kind of did like a little gotcha.
Okay.
He would argue like Donald Trump won. So Donald Trump is president, and he's going to regain office on March 17th. Then whatever, we'd continue talking. And then out of nowhere, he'd be like, well, you know, there's no president right now because the military, there was like a document signed where the military took over, and we're in a military regime.
And no one knows about it?
We're in a military regime where there is no president. So then I'm like, but you just said Trump was president.
Yeah.
So why are you mad that Trump didn't win?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Why are you mad that Trump didn't win if he wouldn't have been president either way? And he was like, like, he was like, I'm going to get back to you on it. Like, doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
like,
no.
You're arguing.
But that's the thing. It's like people are they're just going in circles a lot of the times. And like, I remember having conversations with people and they're saying like, oh, this is going to happen on this day. And then it doesn't happen. And like you said, like they come back and they're like, oh, it's because this thing happened. But like, they'll still never admit that they were fucking wrong about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and that's,
right.
I think that's where, but that's why
people don't keep score.
People don't keep score. People like just believe whatever because they're so scared too, which is also like contradictory to like everything that they stand for because they're like, don't be scared of COVID. They're just trying to scare you. Don't be scared of this. They're just trying to scare you. So they're trying to like have their backs and so that they're like, you're not going to push me up against a wall type of thing. But really, you're just like living your life in fear, looking up all this shit and like.
You got to get out of that. You're not going to change nothing. And then like, you're just so sucked. You're so sucked into it. And like, it's so negative. You know what I mean?
It's so negative. Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting, but keep it at that. Keep it at like arm's length. You know what I mean?
For me, like I listen, like most of the time I hear a conspiracy theory and it's like the birds aren't real one where I'm like, it cannot be fucking real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there's also some that are like interesting. Like that I'm like, yeah, like people make their
moon missions.
That have that here. Like,
do you?
Yeah. Simulations are so fucking weird to me too because
simulations is more a theory rather than like a conspiracy theory. Yeah. It's more like a theory on who we are.
Yeah.
Which that is like super plausible.
But you know what I never understood about conspiracies conspiracies about simulation is like, okay, so if we're like a game, quote unquote, and something is controlling us, like what is that something? Other people? We
wouldn't know.
You know, like
we wouldn't know. It could be, but they might look absolutely nothing like us. You know how I could explain it? Like Sims. Simulation theory is very, to me, that's very likely.
You think it's a very likely?
I think it's very likely.
Huh, interesting.
Because we're creating games that are lifelike. And eventually there's going to be like a code or a program where you like, take Sims. Like literally the game Sims. We talked about that on this podcast. I love Sims. Create a little world. And here's this is another crazy thing I always like to bring up. So like in the air, there's atoms, right? This is all atoms, right? And made up of shit, the air. But the same thing that makes this air, atoms, is the same thing that's makes this couch. But this I can't put my hand through. This I can put my hand through.
But these are different. They're different.
They have different.
They get solid, liquid, gas.
Yeah, but everything is made up of atoms, though. Atoms.
Everything
atoms
has
are
matters.
the smallest.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's matter. It's all matter. This is matter. This is matter. But this is atom.
This is being made up. This is a different type of matter because it's like they're solid, liquid, gas. So isn't that different? Like that's.
But atoms are the smallest. The same atoms that are in here are the atoms that are in here in the air. So you can go through these atoms, but you can't go through. I can't go through your leg
because air. This is gas, and this is liquid, or this is solid.
I know, but the same thing. The same atoms that make up the air are the same atoms that make up a liquid or that make up a solid. But hear me out. Regardless, that's not the point. My point is, you're playing Sims. You get your plot of land. Your character is walking back and forth, right? You purchase a couch, right? That's just ones and zeros on the game. We don't see that. But you purchase a couch. Boom. You put a couch in. Now your player can no longer go through that couch because of a code in the computer. Now your sim knows to walk around the couch. It can't go through the couch anymore.
So you're saying that's what this is? So
I'm saying that's what everything is ones and zeros.
Gotcha.
Everything is ones and zeros, you know? Eventually, we're going to create something. So like take Oculus, right? Or even just a regular video game like NBA 2K. It's starting to look more and more lifelike every year. Imagine 100 years from now what the fuck it's going to look like. It's going to look so real. Then imagine you have a code you put into those players or like into the Sims characters where they can think for themselves, which they already do to a certain extent. If they got to go shit, you have to control them to go shit, you know, but there might be like a code where you put in there and if they have to go to the bathroom, the sim will go to the bathroom on his own if he has to pee. Or if the sim's dirty, the sim will go take a shower on his own. You don't got to tell him to do that. You don't know what thoughts are going on. The Sims doesn't have any emotions, but say there's a code you create that gives him emotions.
I do know what you're saying, and I understand why like people get it, why people believe it, and why you might be convinced by it. But like kind of the same. Like I don't know. It's I'm not completely convinced by that. I do like to joke around and be like, God, I feel like I'm in a simulation right now when like random things happen that are like coincidences.
How many
people
like have you met? Dude, especially recently, it's weird. Lately I'll meet someone and I'll be like, I've met this person before, but it's a different person. They're just the same fucking people. They're just the same. They're the same.
Wait, what do you mean?
So here's a good example. My cousin came from Montenegro. So he's like my distant cousin. He married my first cousin, other sides of the family.
Gotcha.
Okay, the best guy in the world. You met him, Naeem. He came skiing with us once. Amira's husband. Okay, Naeem. So Naeem, whatever. He came here from Montenegro. He's a plumber. He got his career. He's doing good. Blah blah. He got his life. He got his kids. We have this HVAC company that we've been calling for like 10 years. All of a sudden, this one guy comes. He's Albanian. I'm talking to him. Like I know the guy. I've never met him. His name's Gent, but I know he did the same thing. He married a girl here, came here.
I know what you mean.
But he's an HVAC, which is like heating and cooling. Gotcha. And same thing. Got kids, got a family, got like made a trade, learned a trade that's gonna be good for the rest of his life. And it's like, but the same way I talk to both of them, they're like the same fucking people.
Yeah.
Same thing. I got my coworker Mark. I'm at McDonald's. I hear this guy arguing with one of the workers, and I'm like, I know this guy. It's just like copy. Everybody's like
a copy paste.
A copy and paste.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody got their little differences, obviously, but there's like.
But it also is just like you look at somebody who's coming from a foreign country and trying to make their way in America. So everyone's going to have a little bit of a similarity thing. Yeah. So like, I don't know, maybe they are just a copy paste, but also that would mean like if you believe if you're completely convinced by simulation, then do you believe in God?
That's the thing. I believe in God. I don't believe in simulation theory. I'm just telling you it's very likely.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's my thing. That's where I always come from, the angle. That's why people will label me like, oh, Samir believes in simulation. Well, I don't.
Well, you saying it's very likely.
It's very likely to me.
Like I'm pretty convinced by it.
It's convincing. It's very convincing.
Gotcha.
Okay. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I said there are things that I'm like, oh, I can see why people believe that. It doesn't mean I'm convinced by it, but I can see, I can see it.
If somehow we found out simulation theory was right, I'd be like, yeah, well, shit.
I'm not shocked.
I'm not shocked by it.
Gotcha.
That's my point.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah.
And you can still believe in God and believe in, you could believe in God and believe in simulation theory. Because like you said, who created it? There's a creator. God is another word for creator. All powerful. I
mean, God in the way that we believe it would not make sense with a simulation.
In the way we believe it, but there's still like in the Quran they say God to us is inconceivable. We do not have any clue what he does not look like us.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to look at a guy with 5 fingers and a head full of hair and the white hair and blah, blah, like we imagine.
Yeah.
There was something someone told me, I forgot who told me. They're like, God has a complexion of a color we've never seen, that we can't fathom the color.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like he's something we've out of this world. He's not of our
I mean that
reality. He's not of our
our scope.
Our world, our scope. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't love conspiracy theories. I think they're very interesting, and I'm glad we were able to talk about them. Because I know that's a topic you enjoy. But
I was like thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, because who the fuck knows? We always say that. Who the fuck knows? We don't know. Like, we actually don't fucking know. There are some things I think are objectively obvious and, like, you shouldn't feed into. But there are other things where I'm like, hey, I don't know. Who knows? I can't.
I'm not out here. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, don't be out here preaching it.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Have
you remember do you remember the gravity talk we had up north?
Yeah, I remember that talk.
Okay, so the gravity talk we had, I wasn't stating a belief. I was stating a fact. Okay. Where I could not be wrong. Mm-hmm. But obviously when you're in a group setting like that or you make one comment, then it goes into a whole nother thing.
What was the fact?
Because do I believe in gravity? Yeah. But my argument was, I'm like, the gravity we know today is not right.
What do you mean right?
It's not the end all be all. That's it. That's what we got. This is gravity. This is how it works. Period. End of story. Don't look into it any further.
Okay.
When gravity was discovered or whatever, Galileo comes out with like his theory of gravity or whatever, and he says this is the reason things stick to the ground. I think Galileo's was it's your natural. It's within you to be on the ground.
Okay.
It's within the bird to be able to fly. Okay. It's within you to be stuck to the ground.
So like more philosophical rather than scientific.
Then boom, Newton comes out and he had his theory, which then that was proven right. Right? Mm-hmm. So Newton had his theory and then that was proven right. Then Einstein came out and then Newton's was debunked or like parts were taken from it, but it wasn't right. Then Einstein's came out, and then that's what we use today, and this is what we use now that's what we call gravity. We're calling 3 different things gravity.
Well, because
But my point is, I can't be wrong in this argument. Period.
No, I'm not. I wasn't going to argue with you.
But my point is, there's always a scientific revolution.
Yeah.
There's going to be more information that comes across that'll teach us more about it, and then we'll be like, oh shit, that wasn't right. This is the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think though, so this kind of just goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning with like dinosaurs and stuff. Like we're still learning about things. So like us to be like dinosaurs aren't real. Now they have hair. What are you talking about? You didn't know they had hair? Well, it's because things come out and people learn more stuff and whatever. So yeah, I don't know. Like I do think that we understand the depth of what gravity is. I do. I don't think that there's going to be much more to understand about it, but I also think that like, it wouldn't be astonishing for somebody else to find another breakthrough or a piece of evidence or whatever it may be to connect something else with gravity and like say like this is also why this coincides with gravity and stuff like that. For sure.
Yeah. That's why when I say like, oh, today's gravity is not what it is. It's not proven. It's not like 100% this is what it is. No more information needs to be discovered. No more nothing. eventually there will be more information, and we're going to learn more things 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, and we're going to be like, oh, shit, that was wrong. This is how it is. So that's what, but
you were saying, like, you can't measure gravity. Like, you can. Like, there is a measurement for gravity, and, like, you can...
You can't grab gravity. That's what I meant.
It's
and when Dre threw that mathematical equation out, that was completely false. The equation that he threw out. I'm not saying you can't measure. You can measure at the rate of which something falls.
Yeah, so it's not.
But you can't go get gravity and be like, let's study this.
It's not tangible.
Here. Let's put it in this jar, take it to the lab, and study. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do that.
But you can study what it does.
Yeah, you can study what it does. Something falls.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know. Whatever. Anyways, is the moon in our atmosphere?
I know we were gonna say no or yes. I know you brought this up.
Until a few years ago, we said the moon was out of our atmosphere. So if I sat here, say we were sitting here 3 years ago having this conversation, and I said, "Damn, dude, I don't think the moon's outside of our atmosphere. I think the moon's in our atmosphere." You're gonna think I'm batshit crazy. You're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Look at all the studies on NASA.
Yeah, science is like that's what it is, though. Science is going to always be evolutionary, and we're gonna find different things and find out. That's the point of what science is.
Yeah, that's my point.
But that's why, like, even with the COVID virus and everything, people were fucking batshit crazy about, like, why the fuck are you guys telling us this and it's actually this? Because we're learning more about it. So, like, I do think that, like, the thing is like the way it comes across is like, I don't believe in what these scientists are telling me, because these scientists in the future are going to tell me differently. But, like, this is what we know. So the gravity as it is what it is now, because this is what we know and we have the facts, and that's all we have. So gravity as we know it is what it is. In the future, gravity as they know it might be different, but for what we have right now, that's what we have to accept. The moon being in our atmosphere, that at that time, that's what we knew. That's how.
No, now we say it is. No,
I'm saying yeah, whatever it might be. Like, at that time, that's what it is. That's what you have to accept.
But that don't mean. But the argument wasn't the fact. I wasn't arguing gravity, or I wasn't arguing where the moon is. Blah blah. I was saying, just because you look on NASA.gov or you look on Google, you might be right currently. So if I said that's what I was arguing. I wasn't arguing any specific thing. I was arguing you can't tell. Up until 3 years ago, we thought the moon was outside of our atmosphere.
But if I argue that this is what we know and this is what is to be true for right now. So, like, if you were to say, like,
but it ain't. It's true for right now, but it ain't true.
But it's true in the moment. That's like relativity. Like, it's true in the moment that you're in. Because that's that's all we have.
Yeah.
So, like, it is true in that moment. And then you go on and you, like, it's just kind of like, this is going to sound fucking batshit crazy too, but, like, think about when you're younger and you're in love and you're like, this is what love is. Like, I know love. And then you grow up and you learn that love is a little bit different. But at the time, that was love for you. Mm-hmm. That still is something for you. So I know there's a little...
That's a good point.
You know, for you at that time, that's what it was. So gravity, when Isaac Newton said it, that's what gravity was for us. That's what it is. That's what it was. That's what we know. Then this person comes along and they change that perspective for us. So, like, but that ultimately, how we said, that's what science says. I agree with you. I want you to know that I agree with you. I do think that you should come at those conversations a little differently, though, and just kind of just be like, it's science. That shit might change.
But it's called what everything I was arguing. There's philosophers of science. I forget their names, but there's, like, major people that say everything that I just said.
I'm not saying what you were saying is wrong. I know,
but it's called the philosophy of science, because nothing can be proved. It might be true here, like how you just said, like, it was true at the time, but it's not true out there without our human minds.
So my thing is, I do agree with you. We don't know what we're going to find out in the future. And then at that time, that thing will be that thing. But I do think, like, you can objectively say, like, gravity is what it is right now because this is what we know about it. And this is, like, you know, this is how we measure it. And this is how, until somebody else comes along and changes that theory, perspective, whatever it might be. But I do agree with you. Science is always changing. We're always finding out something new. And that's why it's so cool.
Yeah.
And to be a human on planet Earth right now is so special because there's so much cool technology and so many smart fucking people that are going to find that shit out. I don't have anything else besides other conspiracies. We talk about simulation. Flat Earth is a whole fucking thing that I'm not ready to bring up.
Yeah, no.
And then one
that one's interesting though. That one, there's just so much to it that's like, it's like fun to look into.
I've never actually looked into like why people believe it's flat, but I'm not interested. I don't think. But another one that's
I've talked enough about it to you. I kind of gave you the.
Well, you always talk about it with the guys, and I'm just watching you guys, and it's always really fucking funny because like that one video of you and Robert with the balloon, and you're like.
Well, I haven't talked to them about it in over a year.
Yeah. Oh, it's been a long time. Yeah. I remember I was like, Samir, do you think the Earth is flat? And you're like, I don't think it's flat, but it might not be round.
Well, same thing. That's my point. Same thing. Round.
But so
we used to think it was a perfect sphere.
But you're just not accepting of any information ever.
Well, my point is it was a sphere. It was a sphere, a perfect sphere. Then Neil deGrasse Tyson comes out and says, well, it's not a sphere. It's an oblate spheroid, it's like pressed. It's more like an egg.
Gotcha. Yeah, no.
So like, but what, so that's my point. Like, so if I told you, hey, it's not a sphere. Mm-hmm. And you argued me and you argued to the death. And then all of a sudden, all these astronomers come out and say, actually, it's not a perfect sphere.
So
it's
then
actually
at that time, if I argue it's a
you
sphere,
were right.
I'm right.
You were right on
at
Google.
That time. No, not on Google. But at that time, because we don't have
in truth, were you right?
In the time of like we're human beings, we're figuring out life, we're learning.
But what if
new
I
things.
knew? What if I was a prophet and I knew?
Because you're just pulling shit up.
But no, what if I knew?
No, because you're not a prophet and you wouldn't just know.
But
That's
what if
why.
I did?
I'm not having that conversation.
What
I'm
if
not
I
having
did
fake
my own personal
conversations for no
research?
reason.
What if I did my own personal research and I found out, oh my God, it's actually an oblate spheroid?
Then
you didn't believe my information. Instead, you
then
believed.
I'm done. Then I'm wrong.
Okay,
but you're saying if before we found out the research and we're having an argument and you randomly just say like I don't think it's whatever, then I'm right at that time because that's the only information that we have.
I don't agree with that whatsoever. I do not agree with that.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't agree with that.
We're not people that can just be like, that's what we have is what is right, and then we learn new things.
You want to know another thing when it comes to like philosophy? Out there in the world, away from our minds, there is no such thing as like 1 + 1 is 2. They're both 2.
I don't know what the fuck that means, and I'm not interested in figuring it out, honestly. I don't know what you just said to me, and I can't even process it.
Out there, you say, if I tell you 1 + 1, I say, what's 1 + 1? You say 2. 1 + 1 is 2. So you saying 1 + 1 is the same thing as me saying 2. So out there in the world, there is no like equation. It just is what it is. Do you get what
Yeah, that makes sense.
Out there in the world, there is no, that's,
Yeah.
we got to solve this. No, that is what it is.
Okay, so I'm just going to try to like see if I can debunk this at all because I will be 1 if I'm over there and then you're 1 if you're over here, but then when we're together, we're 2. You know? So I was 1 and you were 1 and now we're 2. We're 2 people. You know? Like in my car, I'm 1. I'm 1 person.
Yeah.
When you're sitting on the couch alone, you're 1 person. And then when we're sitting on the couch together, we're 2 people.
Yeah.
So like there's 1 person, then there's 1 person, now there's 2 people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Got you, bitch.
You got me, but yeah.
No, it's okay.
I can go further down that.
No, yeah. Okay. But okay, moving on from conspiracy theories. What we're going to do is we're going to do rapid fire questions for each other.
Oh, we've never done that for each other.
So I wanted to do that. And then we'll close out the episode and we'll let these lovely people get on with their day. You ask me first.
Okay. If you had to be a Disney character, which would you be?
Belle.
What is your Hogwarts house?
Gryffindor.
What animal would you be in another life?
A dog.
If you could have an unlimited supply of one thing, what would it be?
Money.
If your life was a story, what would it be titled?
Through My Lens.
That's a good one. What one thing is just the cutest?
My Archie.
What one thing is the ugliest thing you've ever seen?
I really hate the Demogorgon from Stranger Things.
The what?
The Demogorgon.
I never watched Stranger Things.
Okay.
So I don't know. What's the most interesting thing? I would say the monster from Wednesday.
Yeah, we talked about this, yeah.
What's the most interesting thing in your wallet or purse or bedroom if you're talking to a kid? Didn't have to read that part.
Yeah, in my purse or my wallet. In my purse,
hot sauce?
No.
Like Hillary Clinton?
No. I have like floss sticks, but I don't think that's very interesting. I don't have many interesting things in my purse.
Right. What's your favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving.
What's your favorite pizza topping?
Sausage.
What's your favorite beverage?
Other than water, tea.
What's your least favorite beverage?
Probably like a honey.
Favorite season? What? Really?
Like cognac, yeah. It's not it for me. My favorite season, summer.
Favorite color?
Like navy blue.
Favorite dessert? I like navy blue too.
Favorite dessert? Oh, there's so many, but ice cream.
Favorite animal?
Other than a dog, an elephant.
The last thing you and what's his name? The same. Brandon.
Yeah.
What was the last thing you watched on TV?
Emily in Paris. It just came out today.
What was that about?
It's about a girl.
A girl in Paris?
Yeah, she moved from Chicago to Paris, and it's good. It's
cool.
fun. Yeah.
Netflix?
Mm-hmm. Nicolette's watching it right now.
Is she?
Yeah.
Where do you go when you want to be alone?
On a walk around my neighborhood.
Nice. What's the best thing you've ever eaten from a restaurant?
Testa Barra on 22 and Romeo Plank has really good risotto.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite restaurant ever? That's not on here, but.
My favorite restaurant ever. I like Tao in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What habit holds you back the most?
Procrastination.
If you could learn any language in a week, what would it be?
Spanish.
Not Albanian?
Oh, fuck. Well, I know like a good amount of Albanian.
You can get by?
Yeah, I can get by.
Name a person who inspires you.
I mean, I want to say like my mom or my dad, but that's just like the easy answer.
Yeah.
You know?
LeBron James.
Messi.
No, ride that wave.
Yeah, but my parents. I'll say my parents, both of them.
What do you impulse buy most at stores?
Impulse buy most at the stores. I'm a pretty good saver. I don't really shop.
I got like a random fucking.
Till I drop. I like this. Something that I impulse buy a lot at the stores are these little muffin, like microwavable muffins that I like. Really? You put water in and you mix it all up. You put it in the oven or microwave for like a minute, and I eat those.
Nice.
Indulgent.
Yeah, I was just telling Nicola yesterday. I'm like, once a month I gotta buy something like stupid for me
from the store,
like a train.
Okay, yeah.
I need something dumb,
like to just play with.
Yeah. Okay. What chore do you absolutely despise doing?
Chore?
Yeah. Your future husband might be listening, so don't say dishes or something like that.
No, what I was gonna say is like I used to like hate doing chores, but like I feel like I've turned them into like me time. So I don't hate doing them anymore.
Yeah, put music in and shit.
Yeah, listen to podcasts. So I don't really like hate doing it anymore. I'll say maybe like cleaning my room just because I have to clean it so often because I let it get messy so quick. So like, and it's like knickknacks or small things all over the place that I just need like to get out of there. It's not like a bunch of clothes on the floor or anything like that. But yeah.
What's the first concert you ever attended?
Reba McEntire and George
Who's
Strait.
That? George Strait, I know that.
You know, a single mom who works 2 jobs. Kids and never
the only reason I know who George Strait is because Drake.
Drake, yeah. All my exes live in Texas, like the George Strait.
Or they go to Georgia State with tuition in his hand about some random.
Yep.
Can't say that word.
No.
What time of day are you most inspired?
What time of day? Morning.
Give me a time.
Time?
I'm kidding.
Oh.
What is your favorite type of food?
I like Mediterranean.
I love Mediterranean, man.
Yeah.
That garlic be fucking me up, though.
I can't even eat it. It seeps through my pores if I eat
too
much.
Me too, but I don't care.
Yeah.
We were at...
You're married. You don't have to care.
We were at Nicolette's house for when her grandfather passed away, and they ordered Mediterranean food. Mm-hmm. And they ordered garlic. It came with it, you know? Like, they fixed me a plate or whatever, and then they were like, you want garlic? And I was like, yeah. I was like, put that on there, you know? And even Ola was like, damn, you're going to eat that? I was like, yeah, who gives a fuck, you know? Which I didn't realize there's 30, 40, 50 people coming to the house, you know?
Oh, fuck.
So I'm eating a lot of it,
right?
You know? And then everyone was like the family that I was close to, they're like, oh my God, you're in there. They're like, no one ate. I was the only one out of like 20 people who ate.
Because nobody wanted to smell bad. That's so funny.
I didn't care. I would have done it again.
They say lemon helps with that.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd eat it again. I promise you that.
Yeah, it's great.
What is one food you would never want to give up? Fuck the food once.
Eggs. I'll never.
You would never want to give that up?
No, I love eggs.
I like eggs, all types.
Yeah, me too. So
what's your favorite type of egg? Way to eat it.
A good scramble, but I eat boiled often because it's most convenient. Yeah.
My grandfather, when he came to America, I was young as shit. I can't remember how old I was, maybe 5. And he would crack open an egg and drink it. He would drink 2 of them.
Oh my gosh.
So then, and that always stuck with me. And then when I was like 14 or 15, I was like, why did Babjush always used to drink the egg, you know? And they're like, oh, just, yeah, he always did it his whole life, you know?
Protein?
So then for like a year, I would drink an egg every morning.
Really? Yeah. That's
and
crazy.
then I just stopped randomly.
See, I don't think I could do that. It would steer me away from them.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's not like anything. It doesn't taste like anything.
The texture of it would like
kind of like it.
Up. Oh.
Slimy.
Slimy.
Just
a few more.
What was your first job?
I was a setup girl at Ocean Breeze.
I had a feeling it was Ocean Breeze. That's where Beta's first job was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What subject would you be okay never learning about again? Conspiracies. No. I think that's enough. I asked you 40.
Yeah.
Damn near.
For subjects like, I never like hated a subject in school.
Really?
Yeah. Like.
What was your favorite?
Math.
Math? I didn't like math.
Yeah.
I was good at it, but I liked history.
I liked history a lot. I liked math. Like science. Science is probably like where I was like most challenged in, but I still liked it. And then I think like English, I was just like, why do we have to learn this so many times? Like
science I didn't like because I didn't believe. No, I'm kidding. AU ain't gold on the periodic table. You're lying.
You're like, it's all going to change. Why am I learning it?
Yeah.
That's so funny. What are you most grateful for in the whole world?
Family.
To you, what is the best age?
Right now. No, I liked 25.
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite game of all time? Like board game or
board
cards?
Game? Ooh, shit. Board game?
Mm-hmm.
Monopoly and Battleship.
Okay, I guess those are great. If you could be a character in a TV show, what character would you be?
Didn't I answer this before?
We've talked about this.
Yeah, I've answered this. Vince from Entourage or...
Great answer.
Tommy.
If you have to give somebody a book you've read, which would it be?
That should have been a question for you. A book I've read?
Mm-hmm.
Basic as fuck. The Outsiders.
But
book. You know which book I loved? What the fuck was it? It was these are all like those books they make you read in high school.
Mm-hmm.
What was the one?
With the island?
The island and the pigs and the kids.
Where there are flies.
Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies. Yep. That's a great fucking book.
Love that fucking book.
Name a song that makes you happy.
Pop Smoke, Armed and Dangerous. I was listening to that today. That's why I said that. You know what song makes me the most happy? Creep on Me by Gashi. You know that one?
Yep, I know that song.
And Spot a Little Hottie When I Ripped Up the Shades. That one. Be Magic in the Hamptons by Social House and featuring Lil Yachty.
Mm-hmm. That's a good fucking song. So do you believe in coincidence or do you believe in fate?
Both.
Have more time or have more money?
If I live to 100, that's enough time, I feel like. So then I'd want more money.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nintendo or PlayStation?
Oh, PlayStation. I love Nintendo though, man. Those Pokemon games on there and.
Mm-hmm. What always makes you laugh?
What always makes me laugh? The Office.
What do you do for fun?
Hang out with friends.
What have you been caught red-handed doing before?
Caught red-handed?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, let me think. Shit.
If you can't think of anything, it's okay.
Damn, I can't really think of anything. Caught red-handed doing something. Cheating, I guess.
On a girlfriend?
Hell no, on
a
fucking test.
Oh my god.
Your heart sank.
Oh, I was like, no. What object do you lose the most? Your fucking breeze.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, breeze for sure.
What mild animal are you secretly terrified of?
Mild animal?
Yeah,
like kind of those random...
So
one that you wouldn't usually be scared of?
Yeah.
Did I tell you the bird story?
I don't think
You remember
so.
the book Birds? There was a book. The movie.
Yes.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a book about it, but...
Yeah, you did tell me that.
I told you that?
The
Yeah,
birds.
I was scared of birds for a while.
Okay,
for
they're
a few
not real.
years.
They're just robots.
Yeah, and that's scarier if they're robots.
Right. Do you have a favorite joke or a go-to joke?
Not off the top of my head that I could think of.
You know, this isn't a joke, but it's something funny that you did. when me and Robert one time were driving behind you, every time he would go right, he would put his left blinker on. Every time he'd go left, he put his right blinker on, and I could not get enough of it. I was like, this is so. I'm like, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it?
I stole that from Coney, actually.
Oh, really? That's so
when
funny.
we were like in high school, Coney used to do that all the time, and I would piss my pants.
It's
laughing.
So funny. Yeah. What's the craziest thing you've ever eaten?
Craziest thing I've ever eaten? Escargot.
What's your favorite article of clothing?
Sweats.
What's your favorite cartoon character?
Maybe Cartman from South Park.
Oh.
I used to love The Simpsons growing up. Maybe Cartman. Okay. We'll go with that. Fuck it.
Have you ever been arrested?
No.
Okay. What is the first thing you would do if you became invisible?
That's crazy. Rob a bank.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how stylish do you think you are?
Most days, not very stylish. When I want to be, I could be a 10.
Okay. Finish the sentence. I would do just about anything for...
Nicolette.
Okay. And then I'm going to ask a few good ones.
And your family.
What is your Hogwarts house?
I go back and forth a lot.
Between Slytherin?
Slytherin and Gryffindor.
Okay.
Sometimes you kind of want to be like that. Edgy.
Yeah. I'm back
shit.
and forth between Gryffindor and Ravenclaw.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck Ravenclaw.
I feel like I'm like Hermione in that way, where I would want to be like the smart one, but I'd also want to be in like the courageous one. Because in the books,
what smart is?
It's Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So in the books, actually, they don't ever say this in the movies, but she talks about when she had the hat on, and she was it was gonna put her in Ravenclaw or Gryffindor because she's super smart, you know. So she's like, actually, like. He did say Ravenclaw would be a good fit for me, but he decided on Gryffindor. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. What's Slytherin's?
Evil.
No, actually though. Like Gryffindor is courageous.
Yeah, courageous.
Ravenclaw is intelligence, I guess.
Gryffindor is bravery, actually, not courageous, but House Ravenclaw is intelligence.
Brave, courageous. Yeah. Similar.
Hufflepuff is empathy, and then Slytherin is ambition.
Ambition. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I guess. If I had one final say, it'd be Gryffindor.
Okay, Gryffindor.
Maybe Gryffindor.
Okay, last one. Who inspires you the most?
Probably my dad.
Okay, that's all I got for you. Glad we could close out for that. Like,
it's enough.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and we did want to tell all of our friends that this is going to be the last episode ever. I'm joking.
We're done. Fuck y'all.
We're gonna this is gonna be the closeout of season 1. So we're gonna do seasons of these so that we can take some breaks and rest and come back.
Yeah, especially with the holidays coming up.
Yeah,
and we'll have a lot to talk about too.
Yeah,
when we get back.
So this is gonna be the last episode for about like a few weeks to a month, and then we'll be back either. It'll probably be like mid-January.
Yeah.
With a guest, and we're excited about who that guest is gonna be.
She's aight.
Easter egg. Okay, so that's all we have. Thanks for listening. And being here for 20 episodes, y'all. We'll be back. And
maybe 20 episodes a season.
Yeah, I think that feels right.
Yeah.
20 weeks.
It does.
Yeah. Alrighty. Thanks. Love y'all.
Love you guys.
Bye.